What is going on? We are still in the Bryce birthday bash celebration, and I'm so excited to be here with my co-host, Dr. Jatia Taylor Hart. We are
Happy
here.
birthday, Bestie Bryce.
Ah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm super excited that we can. Well, I'm excited, but I'm sad that we are starting the process of closing out this season. We are here covering Real Housewives of Potomac season 9 reunion part 1 this week, and I feel like Bravo gave us what we needed in part 1. You know, sometimes when there are these 3-part reunions,
And
the
they
first
save all the good stuff for another
for the
episode, and one
last.
just be like intro, intro, intro. Yeah, they came with it hot fire. Starting straight out with the Karen and why Karen is not here. And I'm glad they had to say something like, yeah, right, you get all the way into it because I don't even think some of the ladies knew that Karen wasn't going to be
No,
there.
apparently no one knew. Okay, and here's the thing: the way that Karen black mothered us in that video when she said, "Do as I say and not as I do," the way I had Barbara vibes running, like, because I've heard my mom say that. I thought, like, I can't believe she said that in that video. Do as I say and not as I do. I know that's right, Karen.
I'm glad she's going to rehab, whether it's try get a lighter sentence or not, because clearly you have a problem with alcohol, girl.
Well, listen, it is antidepressants and her drinking. She is not an alcoholic,
Okay, girl.
and so
Whatever.
she's handling this. The season kicks off or the reunion kicks off, and the elephant in the room is that Karen is not there. And so we get to see 2 videos from Karen. One video, it seemed like contractually obligated for her to film her reaction to the sentencing because that was a very raw, very vulnerable Karen. And
To
then we
the
got a more
judgment. She hasn't been sentenced yet. So I looked this up. The sentencing is at the end of February.
okay.
So still a few weeks off from that. But it was the conviction. So she was
Mm,
convicted in December, and then the sentencing was supposed to be in January, but then it got postponed so that she can complete an out-of-state rehabilitation program. So yeah, she wasn't going to rehab till after she got convicted. So I thought that was interesting. It was also interesting that the ladies decided to bring it up right then and there. So
listen, they wanted to know, but it was even more interesting. We got a more polished grand dame
yes,
video where she likes to thank Giselle for writing a note saying one step at a time. She
yes,
thanked Kiarna. She
yes,
thanked Candace. She
yes.
thanked, mind you, first of all, it was the shadiness of the cameraman because every time, like Andy was like, wow, like they're showing the thanks of Karen. They're showing the clip of Wendy
Wendy's
because
face, yeah, because Wendy and she's like, and next, and how, and it was so funny the prefacing it of like, oh, and the next person is a very special person, and it still was not Wendy. And then Andy looking shocked, like, oh, I don't know if I said, like, I thought he was gonna say I didn't even send her nothing. That's what I thought he was gonna say. So that was interesting, but
I was more surprised that Andy was like, the Nene Leaks meme. Now, how did I get in it? When Andy
that's
was
right.
like, when she said my name, talking about I bestowed the grand dame on her. The fact that Andy brought that up, I was like, that was very, very interesting. Wendy states that Karen's not her friend, period, point blank and period.
Well, it's very interesting. She also didn't say anything about Stacy, and Stacy was riding for that girl.
Well, girl, we knew through the season. We knew how the season ended that she wasn't going to thank Stacy. Now, I thought how the season ended, even though it was revealed that Karen was being shady to Wendy, I thought that maybe this is the time for her to extend an olive branch, but she let the real Karen Huger show and said, no, Wendy. Also thought it was interesting that she said the Grand Dame will not return, but Karen Huger will return. We did see these reports that Karen is not going to be returning to the next season. None of that was official. And so with her sending that message into the ladies during the reunion, Karen will absolutely return. There's no way we can have here, like we can have Potomac without a Karen, yes, but there is no way we can have a Potomac end like this and not have a Karen return.
So this is like the whole kind of like Teresa, New Jersey thing. Like, you know, when Teresa went off to jail, she was coming back. You know, like, yeah, she need a couple of years to get herself together.
Serve her sentence. No, baby. She just needed a couple years to serve her sentence. Baby, the cameras was rolling the second she got out of jail.
But also Karen might need a couple of years to serve her sentence. So
we don't know. We don't know how long we have in Potomac, given how these seasons are going. So no, we need Karen immediately. Period.
I think Karen needs to work on herself.
Yeah. Well,
yes. That's so that is my
she's not an alcoholic.
I don't want Karen back. I think it is better for Karen to take a couple of seasons off and work on herself. Like truly.
I do believe. I agree with you. However, if Karen were an alcoholic, maybe that would be true, but she is not.
Oh my gosh. The woman is an alcoholic. So
she is not.
Just because you don't call, look. How about
do
this?
as she says.
This? I don't, maybe, okay. If she is not an alcoholic, she definitely has a problem with alcohol.
Okay.
So now, what's the difference?
There's a lot. And mind you, they're like, because we can even talk about this, right? Because I really do feel like in the Black community specifically, because that's the only community that we can talk about, that we know firsthand knowledge of, there is something to labeling someone an alcoholic, right? Like there is something with that hardcore label that I do feel like is counterproductive.
Okay, so this is the thing. Whatever you want to call it, honey. Whatever you want to call it. I will tell you the definition. I just looked it up. It says people can't stop drinking even if it affects their health, put their safety at risk, and damages their personal relationships. So whatever, honey, whatever you need to call it. How about we call it schmalcoholism instead of alcoholism? How about that? Is that better? Because you have a problem concerning alcohol. Okay. Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to link it to.
She was on antidepressants as well. That contributed to the inebriation.
So she antidepressant alcoholic. How about that? That's better. I mean, it's just I do understand what you're saying about the stigma. It's like saying you have a mental health issue. You can't say that to a Black person because that, you know, that means you're a home, like, I don't know, crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? But like you can have a mental health disorder and still be highly functional and trusting, and maybe you have it under control. You still got a mental health disorder. But okay, whatever you need, she's not an alcoholic. I just hope that she deals with whatever issues she has concerning alcohol and learns how to lead a full and productive life. How about that?
I agree. I thought it was interesting that, and listen, first of all, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Wendy, chef's kiss, right? Like she has become the quintessential housewife. And as we are talking about the Karen situation, Wendy brings up how I find it very convenient that the timing of Karen choosing to go to rehab. And Stacey chimes in and says, but we just want to focus now. She's in recovery. And I thought Wendy said such a poignant point about you're trying to say that we as her friends can't bring up what we see in the obvious of the correlation of her going to rehab so closely to the time that she was convicted and sentencing. And Wendy's like, that's no. As your friend, we should be able to call you out. And I agree with Wendy. Like sometimes friends have to do.
I understand that. But let me tell you something, Bryce. If you get on TV and call me out, you better find a different means. Okay, sir? You're my friend and you can call me on the phone. You ain't got to call me on TV.
Well, so I think yes, that's we are saying. But we are friends. But also, like, I haven't gone on TV and said, don't trust the Chia. She's not a girl's girl. She's self-absorbed and she's a lot. So I feel like, yeah, it's a little shade from Wendy, but also it's like, if you are my friend, I want you to call me out, whether or not I agree or not. There are plenty of times.
I hear you. Call me out, just not on TV.
Well, I mean, but when our friendship is put on a TV platform, when else am I supposed to call you out?
Another time. I'm going to tell you this right now. You mark this. You play this back later. Okay? Don't be talking about my personal MF business. deep personal business. Okay, you called me on the side, honey. Don't text me. Don't wait till I'm in another town for your birthday and then like, have me contact your POC. Okay? I want you to tell me
First
personally.
of all, I'm a social worker, and when Mia said POC, I said plan of care. I said,
Good.
wait a minute.
I went to point of contact, but I was like, that's not really like, why can't you just say your party planner? I thought all of that was weird. I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about the fashions here.
Okay.
So, and a very specific issue about the fashions, and I really wanted to talk about the tittyage,
Oh,
the
so
titty
did
situations.
did Giselle get a breast augmentation? Do you think?
They look huge. They look huge, but they look fantastic. Actually, I thought her breasts looked the best. And so everybody, like, I noticed this. Giselle was the only person who did not have on a strapless dress, right?
Oh,
So, and she had a one shoulder
she
asymmetric
had like a
with a cutout too. It
a
was
cutout,
a
a
very
horizontal.
big,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a very big cleavage, and then she also had a cutout at the waist. So I thought it was very interesting that like some of these titties was really hyped up, and it was just like bothering me, and it was like giving armpit fat. Like whose
Oh,
boobs were
Stacy's,
Stacy's were good. Stacy's were good, but
Mia's.
Wendy's were jacked up. What's the one who got busted in the head? Hers were
He,
jacked up. Who's not jack? I mean, when I say jacked up,
I know what
they
you
had
mean. It's like that, like they're up so much that it's like that chunk by the armpit in the in
yes,
the. I know
and
exactly what you mean,
and so
but
was
I thought people
Ashley.
like that. I like that. I like
I
that look.
don't. I don't. Especially like I like them. Like if you could be up here, but then like look, I had to give a. I was like, but then when they had this, like that's
That
too
like
much.
yeah.
Like when you just got a fat, like I thought that Giselle's looked very nice and they had nice like hang. But like they don't need to look like they don't need to be like this, like curved
Well, I
up.
mean, I
The
think
curved
that's the.
up is actually I don't mind, but it's just the wing of fat. Like
I thought
Wendy's was a great example of this. So anyway, that was just I just had the point that actually wore a top
okay.
so I could do the illustrations and
Thank
stuff like that.
you. We appreciate
Because
you.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I'm too boob obsessed now that I've had breast cancer and I'm looking at boobs a lot. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you are boob obsessed,
I am boob
and
obsessed.
I will tell this story as many times as till somebody hears it to get me help. I just was in Idaho with Jatia for 4 days. Jatia has a 6 home bedroom. I arrived to the home. I said, "Hey, Jatia, I like this room. This is where I'm going to stay." Jatia said, "Absolutely not. You're staying with me." Didn't have an option. I woke up every morning to Jatia naked saying, "What do you
What's the
want to do
problem?
today? I want you to put some clothes on."
I mean, I'll get there eventually. We're leaving the house, but like this is my house and you're my friend. What's the I don't understand the problem.
There's a big problem. And not only that, I don't mind the full nudity that I have to be exposed to. And then it's like Jatia wants to make eye contact with you. Like, girl, I'm uncomfortable.
So should we say how I found you nude, and should I tell my nudity story?
You there I would love to hear this because there is no nudity
Oh, when
story.
I came home from work and you were having a full like bathroom, y'all. If y'all look at Bryce's Instagram, he has tons of pics in the bath. And so he takes over people's baths. So I come home from work and he is like fully laid out. I think he was playing some Anita Baker, like candles on, Anita Baker, and like just like totally lounging, butt booty naked
Was the
in
door
my
closed to the
bathroom.
bathroom and locked?
And then you opened it
No, no,
and
because
how many times have I seen parts of your body that I did not ask to see? So let's not even go there. Moving on to the reunion, okay? I
okay.
have seen the deep, dark crevices.
That is true because the wet never mind.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. I love
Jatia's
how
not
you like
lying.
try to call me out for being a weirdo when you are a weirdo too. So
No,
this is
I'm
how we get
not. And then
along.
also, since we're just on this topic here, listen, it's the Bryce birthday bash. I know we're here for Real Housewives of Potomac season 9 reunion part 1. I just have another gripe because I feel like good friends. I feel like we heard the Mia birthday story, how she invited Jazzy and Stacy, and then she ghosted them. Then she said she didn't ghost them, but then we got the receipts, and Mia said that she was a bad friend. She's a bad friend at this point in time. I'd like to say, Jatia, you are a horrible friend. Sleeping quarters. So I'm in Idaho. I'm staying multiple nights. I'm being forced to share a bed with Jatia. I like to be a responsible adult and go to bed early. And
Oh.
so I go to sleep early. I'm forced in this bed. The 4 nights that I was in Idaho, every time Jatia came into the bedroom, boom, swings the door open, bump, 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 marching, turns lights on, slams doors, watches Facebook Reels, laughs out loud, gets on the bed, gets up, goes in the bathroom, uses the bathroom, doesn't shut the door, flush the toilet, get back in the bed.
Okay, in my defense, I want to say I first of all I'm a night owl and I have insomnia. Okay, it's a little tiny thing called insomnia. It takes me forever. It takes me like a good 3 hours to go to sleep. Like
What that got
literally.
to do with me?
And you were there. And first of all, baby, you had a California king bed. Okay, the king. It could have been 5 of us in the bed.
Girl,
Okay. Not
no,
only
but
that,
so why
so
every
not only
morning?
that, but my mattress is very firm. So I don't even know how you felt me getting in and out of the bed. You are the lightest sleeper ever, ever. Okay. And then, yes, maybe I was giggling at reels, but I had my AirPods in, so you didn't hear the reels. Now you heard the giggling. You can't be mad because I'm full of joy. Anyway, back to the
And
reunion.
yes, back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now we get into the new Wendy, and we see this new Wendy. She has left John Hopkins University. She is no longer a professor, even though she is teaching at some other university right now. We get to see Happy Eddie. We get to see the arc of Wendy. But what I thought was the most interesting part about the arc of Wendy was that everyone seemed to love Happy Eddie. They asked how Happy Eddie was doing.
Oh,
Wendy said that it was flourishing. It's doing well.
business
And
is
just
booming, is what she said, I think, right?
Giselle said, well, did Stacy tell you about Happy Stacy?
Spacey Stacy. Spacey Stacy.
And I don't care what Stacy says, the way. Now, mind you, I like Stacy. And I also kind of like this feud between Stacy and Giselle because it's like, there has to be feuds with girls. Like, we don't like them when they all get along. So I do like this feud with Stacy and Giselle. And Stacy's like, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. And the way Kiarna was chiming in, it was as if Kiarna had information. And Giselle said to Wendy, she said, listen, next season, if there's a Happy Stacy, you heard it first. And
Spacey Stacy.
now that actually, she might need to coin that Spacey. That's a good name. Now, Giselle has been proven right this reunion episode because as they were talking about Wendy and Karen's friendship, Giselle was like, girl, I told you your first season. I told you the next season. I told you last season. You didn't want to believe me. And so I just feel like Giselle was coming with the truth. But what is it with these ladies? First of all, the marijuana industry is huge. So multiple people can have marijuana lines. We know the candle industry is huge, and Wendy started it. Karen came up with the 3-wick. So maybe Stacy is going to have a hybrid of an indigo,
Well, look,
a
when you
sativa.
married to the Black Bill Gates, honey, you could get them products out like that. I mean, honestly, Karen be capitalizing while other people was hemming and hawing and G and A and then athleisure and then fashions with no fashions, honey.
And now we supporting the charities.
Right. So don't be mad. Like you ain't doing that. I'm gonna do something. I do think that cannabis industry is big enough for the both of them. So whatever, if you want to be spacey or happy, have
I
at it.
do feel like, and like Wendy said, I'm going to be mad if you do something and you don't at least like tap me on my shoulder and let me know. I feel like Stacy should at least do that.
But she said she ain't got nothing coming. So I
Well,
mean, but also the Grand Dame has not had anything coming, and then something come out. So it could be.
so here's the thing. I like Stacy, and I just have to say it. The one thing I thought all the women looked amazing. I didn't like Stacy's wig. I don't
I
like
ain't like a wig.
I
Either.
don't like those wigs that they like flip. Like, I want to see the part. Like, I don't care if I see the lace, but I want to see the part. I don't like them wigs that's like left, right, pull to the back. Like, I didn't like, I mind you, Stacey is beautiful. I love Stacey, but
Yes.
I definitely didn't like that wig that Stacey had on. Here was another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Wendy had talked about her um what do we call it when you the trust that she has for her kids, and some people
Yes.
online was giving her slack because she has some stipulations in her trust that if her children receive masters, they get more money. If they speak Igbo, they get more money. If that, like, first of all, I love that. Like, let's empower. If we have money to leave to our kids, let's just not leave them to our kids. Let's empower them to do better for themselves as an initiative to get more money. I thought that that was so amazing.
I ain't mad at it. So we have a trust and we dole out the money. They don't just all get the money at once.
Is there so the stipulation is like maybe at the time points as when they get the money?
Correct.
Is the trust for your two children, or is your trust for your two children and their uncle Bryce, who they do love very dearly?
That's funny. Everybody who we love is taken care of.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I believe that. I really do.
Yes.
I
I
really do
do.
believe.
So yeah, because I think yeah, different people, different situations. It's not that, and money doesn't equal love. You can love your kids equally and give them different amounts of money. Maybe somebody need more support or whatever. So I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. So I thought it was a good plot point too. Look, do stuff I like, you get rewarded.
Okay. Period.
It's my money. Look, it ain't a given.
Is Stacy educated?
Okay, so I understand. I was with Giselle and I was like, is she? Is she? Look,
Now now you know I'm the biggest Giselle fan now. That I Giselle, don't do Stacy like that. Like, don't do Stacy like
she
that.
did, and it was hilarious, and I loved it. So I was here for it. I was with Giselle. I think Giselle was serving it up this
Gi-
reunion, honey. The
Gis-
look was good. The nails, did you see the
I
nails?
saw the nails. Yeah,
Look,
Giselle
she's
was
like, y'all
serving.
ain't gonna do me like you did my girl.
Giselle says she wants to come back for season 10. And I think that I said this to you on our last podcast, was when Giselle was most recently on Watch What Happens Live. She had some sharp words for Stacey. Giselle was quick with it. And I'm like, see, my issue with Giselle, because some of the people that listen, they always say we don't have nothing negative. Listen, I have a lot of negative things to say about Giselle, but I feel like sometimes with Giselle, it's like off when we are not filming is when we see the most snappiest Giselle. I want to see the snappy Giselle in person. And I really do feel like this reunion, we got to see a snappy Giselle, and she clearly wants to be back for season 10.
Oh yeah, she saw what happened to her partner, the other green eye bandit, and she's like, not me, not today. So I thought she definitely earned her first chair. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the Grand Dame was there, I think it would probably be the Grand Dame and Mia. But she,
Yeah, but she wasn't.
yeah.
So
Well,
she's
okay,
working on
listen.
her anxiety and alcoholism.
Wendy makes a point because Kiarna says that, like, although the ladies feel how they feel about Karen, Karen's never talked about the other ladies prior to her meeting them. And, when Kiarna got into her altercation last season, Karen really stepped up and supported her. So Kiarna sees her differently. Wendy says, I would be careful of that because Karen has this mother goose type of thing where it's like, if she can mother you, she likes you. But the
Mm-hmm.
second that she doesn't need to feed you how the birds feed you, and if you fly the coop, then it's out for Karen. She over for you. And so I feel like we've seen that with the Candace relationship. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
that with the Wendy relationship. We've seen it a little bit with the Ashley relationship. We definitely see it with the Kiarna relationship, but I don't feel like we saw it with the Monique relationship. And Monique and Karen were very close.
I think Karen did try to do it to Monique as well. I don't think it took.
Okay, well, listen. Then we get some divorce updates. Ashley lets us know that she has filed, she has signed, her
Them lies.
ex-husband has
Them
signed,
lies,
and
honey.
now they are waiting for the state of Virginia to settle it. We know that she has not taken she didn't take the spousal support, but she did take the child support. And she said she did that because of she signed a prenup. So that means that obviously in the prenup, if she stayed in the marriage for the X amount of years, stipulations. Okay. Like Wendy's stipulations, she has stipulations. So there's no need for her to have spousal support. We know that Stacey is in a process. She's still in the process. Stacey has declined on the child support, but has asked for the spousal support. What I thought was hilarious was Wendy said she in the process as well. And everybody was like, girl, you lying. It's a lie. It's a lie.
I don't know. I ain't never been divorced, or none of that. But like, good Lord, this seemed like it's taking a long time. I don't know. So I don't know if they
Well,
lies or whatever. But honey, I hope
you
you
do
hurry up and get your
know
freedom.
Angelina and Jolie and Brad Pitt, their divorce just settled within like the last 7 months. And they've been divorced since like 2005.
Okay, so they've been separated, but also what they did do is they did you can do like be legally divorced and still have to settle the terms. So, and also they have businesses together. So that's a little different.
So does Mia and Gordon.
Do
Joint
they have businesses?
chiropractor,
Because I thought
joint chiropractor. Mia is the GM, the social
I thought that
media.
she was just employed. I didn't think it was a business together, and I thought he got kicked out of the business. So it don't sound like they got any businesses. She was just getting paid as the GM. So that's what I'm saying. It's Angelina and Brad had a whole winery together, and then she sold, like, I was following that one. There, and then somebody sold their stake in the winery to somebody that the other person didn't like, to be spiteful and to get out of the winery and cause trouble. Look, I've been in on that. And then
So
it was a
that.
domestic violence case. So, and Kim Kardashian and Kanye West also got this done, where you can like divide the divorce. So you could say, hey, we are legally divorced and we still got to settle the terms. So that's another thing that sometimes why I be going along.
So that's what Mia is going through right now. So give her some grace. Okay, her and Gordon are trying to figure it out. But listen, the biggest surprise of the reunion was Mia's Miami birthday bash that was not filmed. And I just again have to say the last part of this season, snooze fest. However,
I agree. It was snooze fest.
This reunion has been a breath of fresh air. And hearing about this Miami debacle, I'm like, why didn't we pick up the cameras for this? So Mia invited Jazzy and Stacey. She didn't invite any of the other girls to her Miami birthday. The girls said that they're coming. The girls got there. Mia ghosted them. They came to her birthday dinner. Mia was nowhere to be found. Jacqueline had to report back to Mia that the girls were there. Mia texted them back a day and a half later after they left her birthday dinner, because the birthday dinner was at 8. They got there at 9. Nobody was there, so they left. Mia texted them the next night at 12 a.m. saying, hey, boo, where you at?
She's a mess. And she should have just admitted that she was a mess and apologized instead of trying to like prove her point. She should have just been like, you know what, I was wrong. And it was her opportunity. But you know what, Stacey is proving that she is, handling herself. She's like, no, I don't lie. I thought that was hilarious because Mia couldn't fix her face to say the same. And then when she just straight up handed her phone over to Andy, I was like, girl, that's a bold choice, honey.
Listen, and Mia went from saying that she didn't know that she was coming, so then she later knew that. Then when Stacey handed Andy the text, she sent Stacey the text. Stacey immediately said, I'll be there to celebrate you.
Andy has read a lot of text messages to uncover context. He's like, yes, read, delivered. Look, the commentary, he swiped to the side to see what time it was read and what time it was delivered. I was like, oh, that is hilarious, honey. You can see he is a nasty attitude having bitch, and he knows how to read between the lines of a text message. So
listen, and Giselle, Ashley, and Kiana were perched for the tea to hear what was coming out. But also, Andy knows how to read text. But also, I don't know if I sent this to you, but Andy's nudes recently leaked online.
What? Oh my gosh. No, I can't even believe that.
Well, Andy be all over. Yeah.
Text me.
So, I mean, Andy knows how to read the text or knows when it's sent or delivered. But needless to say, part one of the reunion Mwah, chef's kiss. I wish this much of excitement was happening towards the latter end of filming because it no, wasn't that great. However,
Not only that, but why did they even bring out Jossie? I thought she was a big nothing burger.
so I liked Jossie. I liked her. I like her relationship with Darius, who's playing for the Cowboys. She's bi-coastal right now. She clears up the fact that she's not a side woman. He did not post the baby mom
It's
that
giving Sal side piece. So
I mean, well, she's engaged now. She brought the invitation to the reunion. I don't really like how they do these what do you say? I don't like how they do these friends of the show. Also on Salt Lake City, the other lady that they brought out, they bring them out for just one commercial and then that's it. Baby, when Marlo Hampton was a friend of the show, she would come out and she would be there for the remainder of the reunion.
but also Marlo was like always in the mix, like deep in the mix, and she brought the drama. So she was like, she's been the quintessential friend of that brings the drama and all that kind of stuff. She was not a great housewife. I don't think she ever should have been a housewife, but she
Well,
was always
I think Marlo would be a great housewife. I don't think the scenario in which she became a housewife and that was the greatest. If the franchise wasn't failing so bad, they kind of put Marlo in to kind of save it. And it's like Marlo isn't a saver. Marlo is like a filler in. So I do give Marlo a
Marlo's a
little grace.
charade.
I think Marlo's a little better than the Sheree. But I mean, also Sheree can hold her own as well. But I mean, I would take a Marlo and a Sheree over a Cynthia, but that's just
Bring back Shamari. Anyway,
Shamari is back. She's a housewife.
Is
Oh wait,
she?
no. I'm talking about Shamia. No, not Shamari.
Okay.
Not Shamari might need to
DeVoe.
she might need to get some type of treatment that Karen is getting from that season. But listen, this was the Real Housewives of Potomac season 9 reunion part 1. I thank you so much for tuning in as a part of the Bryce birthday bash. Please make sure you subscribe to the Purple Pants podcast. I would really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the Bryce Isaiah YouTube channel. For my birthday, I would really appreciate it. Jatia and I will be back in 2 weeks and we will be covering part 2 and part 3 of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Jatia, do you want to end the podcast?
Yes, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my boo. Happy birthday.
Yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. See you soon.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.